Hello again, everyone. I'm CCP Rise, back here with CCP Fozzie, and we're about to watch Kill It With Fire on the red side versus Ministry of Inappropriate Footwork on the blue side. Why don't you tell us a little about what sort of ships they're using?
So Ministry of Inappropriate Footwork has brought a lot of damage. We've got Vindicator, Kronos, Proteus as the core of the team, with the Neros repping, and then Enyos, triple Enyos, triple Mollis, Vengeance, Crucifier for E-War. That's going to be a lot of damps, some tracking disruption, really, really strong. Kill It With Fire, on the other hand, has brought Navy Scorpions, just like the ones that we saw in our last match. We'll have to see if they are cap transferring local rep ones for Tinker tanking. It's very possible. That is a very strong setup, although they wouldn't have the Vulture in this case, so it wouldn't be as strong. But then we've also got a bunch of ECM. Scorpions, Griffins, Harpies, Merlins. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. My money is kind of on Kill It With Fire setup here, or sorry, Ministry of Inappropriate Footworks, but could really go either way.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the first, like, sort of serious ECM setup we've seen today. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes versus the more standard damp setup on the blue side.
So the damps got on, and then there isn't a lot of ECM being applied right now. So I'm significantly less convinced that the Ministry of Inappropriate or that the Kill With Fire team is going to be able to apply those jams, because that's a lot of damps sitting on their team right now, including on the Scorpion. Yeah,
that looks to be how it's going. They have like no ECM active at all, but at the same time, they're doing a lot more damage. Well, probably similar damage, I guess, but that Vindicator is taking a lot, which is sort of surprising.
Taking a ton of damage. The Scorpion now, they've gone on top of the Scorpion. So the Scorpions had the advantage of having the range, so they could hit while the ships were moving in, but now he's taking a ton of damage. We're going to have to see if he's able. These guys are not cap transferring, by the way. These are more of a mobile team, taking advantage of newts on those extra highs, the ability to kite a little bit, and their range. So that's a pretty strong setup. And that Navy Scorpion, though, not have the same tank, obviously, as the one we saw just from Angeli Mortis the last match.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up there and see if, he is shield boosting of probably just one XLASB, since you can't bring two, and there's nothing else here to provide any shield rep. So he's trying to rep against that Vindicator. As you can see, none of the ECM able to even be activated on the blue team here, which is definitely a problem. They need to cut the DPS down a little bit to have a chance.
So like we've mentioned before.
Oh, this is getting really close.
He's down. Vindicator, though, about to follow him, I think, although that is a bit of the damage gone. But Corridelia's Vindicator in structure, and just a sliver of armor getting pulled back. He'll probably go down pretty soon. But we got a Griffin going down. The Frigs from Ministry of Inappropriate Footwork also doing their job, taking down some of these opposing frigates.
I can't believe how well Kill It With Fire is doing, considering they don't have any jams active. Like, if they had more damage where these points are invested in Griffins and the Scorpion.
Griffin down.
Imagine how much more damage they would be
surviving so long.
Yeah.
That Scorpion's going to be almost out of shields by the time the Vindy dies.
Yeah,
and
the second one's going down
news
so
for Kill It With
fast.
Fire. Yeah, so these guys have a local shield tank, but unlike the ones from Angeli Mortis, they can't run that shield tank forever because they don't have the cap transfers.
Ooh, Vindy down.
Vindy down. Now let's see if the Navy Scorpion can pull something back. As another Merlin drops too. Doesn't look like it, though.
The problem for the Navy Scorpion is that since he's depending on that ASB, or presumably, it could be just a local XL shield booster, but if it's an ASB, he'll run out of charges at some point.
Now, I think he actually just finished a reload. He just started boosting again after not boosting for a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though, because he is boosting, but he's also taking tons of damage.
Okay, there was a boost there.
Yeah, I definitely am seeing him boost, but he's also just taking so much damage.
They probably had a little bit of distance to go to get to him. I'm not sure, but that could have been the reason. I don't know, though. He took a bunch of damage to begin with, so that doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, you can see him boosting. I don't know. And in the meantime, Miss Kronos is taking a lot of damage as well. Now more ECM active. That was the ECM active on the Oneros, the Proteus, and the Kronos. Yeah,
the ECM is obviously not jammed the Oneros, just to make sure everyone knows.
Not necessarily,
So the Oneros, or all those ECM icons, just means an ECM attempt, not success.
Sure.
And since there's a rep icon on the Kronos, that means the Oneros is still able to block.
Right. But it does mean that there's a chance that with the Kronos so low, if they get a successful jam, they'll get through. It also means that if they get a successful jam on the Kronos, that Navy Scorp could survive, which it didn't. It's just died. And so now,
at this point, the only thing they can really hope for is some hero jams. If they get like a couple of good jams on the Oneros, then that Kronos can go down. But otherwise, they just don't have the damage.
Right. That was like probably 30 or 40% of the total damage their team had in that second Scorpion going down, so that's obviously a very big deal.
Meanwhile, Inappropriate Footwork has been also clearing out the support. Lots and lots of frigs killed while we were talking there, continuing to tear through them, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. Having the logistics ship there is really, really helpful for keeping those frigates alive. Even though the Navy Scorps have big tanks, the Harpies, the Griffins, the Merlins don't really.
This is a really close match. I wonder if we're going to see Navy Scorpions consistently throughout the next couple weeks. I wonder if...
I think they're going to be definitely not uncommon. They'll be around. Yeah.
I feel like this setup, you know, maybe drop the Scorpion and add a couple ships that do a little more damage, or a logistics ship or something like that, and this match would have gone the other way.
Yep, I think we're going to see quite a few Navy Scorps. I think we're going to see quite a few Typhoons and Ravens as well, which have a bit more speed but lose some of the tank and cost fewer points. So yeah, you're going to see some cruise missiles all over the place because they got some pretty big changes in the Odyssey expansion. Yeah, someone went and changed them. I'm not sure who that would have been.
They've been bad for so long. I felt like, you know, maybe make them a little better. But yeah, I mean,
I think
at this point,
success. Yeah.
At this point, obviously, Footwork in firm control. Something I wanted to ask you about because it comes up.
As the Kronos, though,
how is he still taking so much damage? They don't even have jams active on the Oneros.
I don't know. Like a Navy Scorp still does decent damage.
Yeah.
It is weird though that we're not seeing the Kronos and Proteus applying any damage to anyone right now. I mean, like the Kronos is there right beside the Navy Scorp.
Yeah, they're there with the.
Why
Scorp,
is he not? Is he?
Could be jammed. Yeah, he does have ECM at least activated on him.
He's not shooting right now. Yeah.
Maybe he's
so
jammed.
Kronoses are a class of ships, the Marauders, that have a special weakness to ECM. So getting jams on him is going to be very effective.
I'm still shocked that one Navy Scorpion and one Scorp is enough to get through the Oneros. Like the Kronos is a Tech 2 tank with Oneros
He is
support.
repping back up quite a bit now.
He should be able to sustain through that. Even if he can't lock forever, he should be able to sit there and tank.
They do need to apply some damage, though, if they want to actually be able to finish this off, because that Navy Scorp will cause problems if you just let him survive for the next 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what they can actually do. I'm watching closely on that Kronos to see if he actually starts shooting. At the moment, there is no guns active from him. He is not able to lock anything.
And, you know, something significant, you can see there's no ECCM graphic running on the Kronos, and it's possible that because ECM just hasn't been as much, it hasn't been as common in this tournament, which means it hasn't been as common in tournament practice, that people might not be as prepared for it. So
yeah, ECM is one of those things that's always been really strong if people aren't prepared for it. But against a team that has thought about how they're going to beat ECM, it's not actually that great. But in this case, this team obviously hasn't really considered ECM.
I think it's safe to say they're pretty annoyed with it, too, because they're switching over to the Scorpion now, deciding that rather than focusing on the Navy Scorp, which obviously can't break their tank, they might as well take out the thing, keeping them from doing any damage.
And if they can take him down, then they'll be able to get locks on the Kronos, and that'll end the Navy Scorp pretty fast. And they are taking him down.
Yeah. Although the Kronos still is not shooting.
It's the Proteus that's doing the damage on him. The Proteus still does quite a bit of damage by itself. And also we have Enyos. And Enyos are like little cruisers of damage. They actually, with blasters, do a ton. And yeah, it's going to be just a matter of time for that Scorpion to drop down. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. It still is Ministry of Inappropriate Footwork in very firm control of this match, as they have been since like the first 2 minutes, basically.
Merlin down now. Scorpion should be dropping pretty soon. While we have a sec, I did want to ask you a question, CCP Fozzie.
Sure.
In the past, the game within the game, all the match throwing and spying and whatever has always been a thing that we're not sure exactly how involved in the tournament ought to be, but it always plays some role. We're always talking about the metagame, at least in some way, and it's changed a lot this year because of team practicing. I thought maybe it'd be good for you to tell people about that. So
one of the things that we've added this year that we haven't in the past is we have a dedicated test server. So it's a separate server from our main Tranquility cluster that has thousands and thousands of people playing at any one time, like 60,000 people at once. And we've moved over to a very small server that only the tournament teams can access. They can then lock a system, a whole star system that only they can get into with a password, and that allows them to practice in relative peace. No one can just walk right in and spy on them. You can still spy on them by getting access to their team, by actually joining the team with a sleeper agent. You can still get access to their forums. You can still do a bunch of other things. We already actually saw yesterday, these teams are using implants. They stick the implants into their head that give them bonuses and benefits to fighting. Some implants are very popular in the tournament. Last night, before the tournament started, somebody went and bought up all of them. Just went through the main trade hubs and bought up all of some of the most valuable implants for the tournament and cleared them out so that no one else could have them. And we do see metagaming like that, but we're not seeing the same kind of spying that you could in previous years.
Yep. So yeah, that's definitely an interesting change. Maybe a little less knowledge about what specific setups teams are gravitating towards in their practices, depending, of course, on exactly how much internal access you have to their, you know, their whatever forums and stuff like that. But anyway, Scorpion has died for the Kill It With Fire team. They're now free to lock as much as they want, and so they're getting started on the Navy Scorpion again. And
he might survive the next 50 seconds, though.
That's true.
keeping a Navy Squad
probably
alive. Like,
will,
it's not a
actually.
cheap ship. So good for them having that to fight another day or to sell and buy another ship, because they are still in it. No one gets kicked out today.
Yep.
We are going to see 16 teams get kicked out tomorrow, though.
And I feel like I thought this was going to be a walkover for Footwork, no pun intended there, but this looked really good from Kill It With Fire. The Scorpion team looked really strong, and I think that they could do well tomorrow, so that'd be interesting to see. Yeah,
they could definitely be a force to be reckoned with in their cluster of the elimination bracket, because there's a lot of teams there that haven't been doing nearly as well as this.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see, though. They have a gigantically long grind to go, though. They have a lot of matches.
Sure. But, you know, that could be really cool. I'm really excited to see the teams that, you know, get a chance to emerge from that loser side of the bracket. So that's always pretty exciting. But anyway, timer's going to run out now. It looks like they're absolutely not going to kill that last Navy Scorpion. But nonetheless, a good job by Ministry of Inappropriate Footwork. And we will be back with Godfathers versus Urinal Alliance in just a few minutes.